Hello, my name is Brenda Taylor Hines. I am the project director for Lorraine's Pride Initiative. Today we have some of Lorraine's Pride Initiative participants who have been involved with several of our programs and services. Today they're going to have an opportunity to talk about their experience, their success story, their accomplishments as a result of their involvement. Our first guest is Edwin. Please join me. Good to see you again.
Hello.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to tell the audience, for you to tell residents of the city of Lorraine what your experience was like with the different programs that are part of Lorraine's Pride Initiative. So here's my first question. How did you hear about us? How did you hear about the Lorraine's Pride Initiative?
I heard about Pride through Lakata, through a social worker. And through Lakata, I was able to participate in the jobs program.
Okay.
And it started out, I was kind of nervous. Didn't know anybody.
Okay.
I know a lot of people in Lorraine, but didn't know anybody at the group.
Okay.
And it seemed like it would be another one of those boring groups where you just sit through for a week, get a certificate, and then be over with.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the week, I learned a lot of the people's names and a lot of personal information about those people in my group, and learned a lot of skills that I could use in the interviewing process and how to put my resume together.
Okay. Did you learn how to respond to the employer? What kinds of questions to ask the employer? How to prepare for that job interview?
Yes, a big focus on the jobs program was the question, tell me a little about yourself.
Okay.
And we worked on that a lot, and I was able to kind of dig some more into who I am and bring that into the interviewing process also.
Okay. So you were able to complete the program, graduate, get the certificate, and participate in some of the post-jobs activities that included transportation to job fairs, to your job interview, and it offers some other services. What was it like for you when you got the call from the employer, we have an interview time for you?
At first, I got the phone interview, and then I received the phone call to get my first formal interview. In the past, I would have been a little skeptical about going to that job interview, but through Pride, I was able to gain a ride through Pegasus, and I was on time, I was prepared, and I found a lot of the things that I learned in the job program to be helpful in the interview.
Mm-hmm. Were there particular aspects of the jobs program that you liked?
I like the personalness of the job program. Everybody there, we engaged in a lot of talking about what we did the day before and how we felt, and a lot of what's going on in our families and things that could help us out throughout the city of Lorraine. A lot of different aspects of help.
Okay. So you gained a lot of self-confidence. There was an increase to your self-esteem. You felt better. You felt kind of armed with this knowledge, and it created a confidence in you to go and approach this employer. What did your family say? I mean, how did this change your relationship with your wife, with your children, with your relatives?
Well, in the past, I always did a lot of side jobs.
Okay.
And I was able to now stop worrying about where my next dollar was coming from and focus on getting a career, maybe going back to school and using these skills that I learned in the job program to help me stay getting a weekly paycheck.
Tell me this, what would you have done if Pride wasn't around?
Probably be stuck at a dead-end job somewhere, or maybe working from paycheck to paycheck and worrying about how I was going to get to work back and forth, and maybe losing tons of jobs because of that. And through Pride, I was able to gain confidence in getting to work because you guys do offer some transportation to get me back and forth, to get me back on my feet.
Okay. I know one of the things we've been talking about with all of the folks that are going through jobs are what are the barriers, and one of the things that we found, as you've described, is a lack of transportation. And we provide that not just for the job interview, but in a short-term basis until you can figure out your transportation arrangements, either through carpool or networking, or even using Pegasus to kind of match, some of the costs that you get to your job. So what's your career plan?
Right now, I'm just focusing on getting this job. I have an interview coming up, and I'm focused on getting this job so I can pay bills, catch up on some debts, and maybe go back to school.
Okay, let's say you had an opportunity to do a commercial with me on Pride. What would you say to folks about Lorraine's Pride Initiative?
I would say that Pride, it's good for the community. It helps a lot of people that don't know where they're going in their life. And through Pride Initiative, you can gain confidence, get back out there in the world.
That's a really powerful message. And we so appreciate you taking the time to come in and share with me, the general audience, and residents of the city of Lorraine, the impact that Lorraine's Pride Initiative has made on your life. We're here to support you, not just temporarily, but in the long term as well. So it's a pleasure seeing you again.
Okay, thank you.
Our next guest for the Lorraine's Pride Initiative is a student, Cecilia. Please join us. We're going to ask, I'm going to ask you some questions about your involvement in the Lorraine Pride Initiative Steering Committee. And I want to ask you, first of all, what is it like being involved with adults who are making some very critical decisions about this program in the community?
It doesn't bother me or anything. It's actually kind of fun to sit and be counted as someone with an opinion that does make a change in my community that I live in, and to see it help my community that I live in.
Okay. You also serve as the voice of young people. So tell us a little bit about who you are, your involvement, your career plans, your future. Do we intimidate you when you participate in making some very important decisions? So who are you?
I'm just a 16-year-old student, go Lorraine High. I was in ROTC for 2 years. I volunteer outside of school with Communities That Care, Teenage Lorraine County. In the summer, I go to camp in Southern Ohio to help do Communities That Care. I volunteer whenever I go to Texas at my sister's job. She works at a rec center at my aunt's church in Texas. So I'm really out there, and I'm really open to volunteering because I like seeing other people get the help they want to make them better. And me personally, I want to work in the mental health field, so being a part of Pride and seeing the different programs that it offers to people who do need the different types of help, it's a lot of fun, and it applies to things I want to do with my future also.
Okay. My first time meeting and working with you, remember when we were doing the community canvassing at the Boys and Girls Club on Clinton Avenue, and you were responsible for our food and responsible for the work of the other ROTC members. I watched you organize, take control of chaos, and bring order to chaos, and I thought, we need her on our steering committee. What are your skills?
I have people skills. I've always been that person that, like, when it comes down to it, I'll take charge.
You took charge, honey. I backed off. I said, okay, let her work it.
Yeah, especially if I know the people, and if I know the people I'm working with, and I know your strong points and your weak points, because I'm the type of person, I people watch. I'll watch and I'll look and I'll see what this person does.